Magician's sword. Some of you have $1 million idea that you're sitting on. For some of you, this is $1 billion idea. And for others of you, this is something that is an idea, an urge that you have, something that is even a curiosity, a hobby, an area of interest that you have been considering taking to a professional level, maybe going back to school to get some expertise in this particular field or to strengthen a certain skill set. For others of you, this can relate to entrepreneurship, stepping away from the rat race, the 9-to-5 job, kind of breaking out of the matrix and moving in another direction for yourself professionally. That this energy is speaking no matter where you fit, in that realm or in that spectrum. This is that Ace of Swords energy that is not only giving you reassurance that like, yeah, this is a good idea, you should, leap in the direction of this opportunity or follow through with something that you've been considering, kind of like putting plans in motion, investing in something that can help to change your narrative arc. And with that idea of the magician, this is like you're going to be manifesting in not just success and prosperity, not just, something that you've always like wanted to do or that sounds interesting, or again, like an idea that you had that has sparked some kind of curiosity. But this is going to fundamentally change your life in all ways for the better. This is something where it feels like the rewards from this, or the life that you're going to be able to step into, this is something that doesn't just have kind of like temporary or immediate results. This is something that will open up entirely new pathways and doorways for you for years and decades to come. This is the energy of establishing a legacy for yourself, building generational wealth. And it feels like it comes in the form not just of like material prosperity, but also a sense of how you're going to feel inside. Like you had a goal and you're able to accomplish that. And that level of wealth, of like a can-do attitude that gives you more than just good feelings. Like it materially changes things for you. It feels like that's something that's very important, that like you as a soul need to experience that. You need to experience that success. You need to step into the limelight. You need to have that trust and faith in like higher guidance or your ability to answer that call to kind of step in a new direction and to see that come to a place of fruition in a positive way, that in some capacity then it feels like emboldens you maybe to take other steps, step outside of your comfort zone in this lifetime. But it feels that it also sets a trajectory for like future incarnations, where they're going to be bigger, they're going to be brighter, there are going to be fewer kind of like struggles or lessons that you're needing to learn maybe like early on in your incarnation, because it's kind of like wherever you are on your journey, this is a crucial step forward that like you're going out with a bang. Further down the road, this is something where this can be, that great work, something that you've even been working on for multiple lifetimes, and then the here and now you're able to like fast track that in a very beautiful direction, that it's a sense of accomplishment that will sit with you. You'll hold that within your soul, and it's part of the wealth that you will then use to kind of invest in future incarnations to sort of build from there or branch off from that. So you're sitting kind of like right in the midst of this period of time. It feels like for a lot of you, this is something you're already aware of, or something that is you've kind of segmented it off maybe in terms of just like a hobby or an interest, or even something that you might define as like a side hustle, or something that it's kind of like you could still be struggling with yourself. Like, should I invest more time or resources in kind of the pursuit of this? Like, you're already aware of what this is. It's already something that's a part of your life. And this is that kind of encouragement. This is that sign. This is that nudge from the divine. Like, yes, this is not only something that will be, fun. This is not only something that you'd be good at. This is not only something that like you have curiosity and you're going to satisfy that, but it's something that helps you to kind of like carve out a unique path forward for yourself that isn't just for you, but it brings in a lot of like stability and a success for yourself, maybe even something that can like help others. You'll be able to like give back to others, or whatever this is something that is of service to others or the greater good in some sort of way. That it is kind of like part of your purpose of this incarnation is to come to this crossroads moment and to choose to take that step, not even in like an unknown direction, because it feels like you've already been sort of dancing around the idea, or you've already invested in it somewhat, but it's like seeing that through to kind of like the next phase, or like a place of completion. There's a lot of rewards that come with that. We have Fortune's Wheel. Yeah, so, this speaks about like real time. We're in year of Wheel of Fortune. These are timeless readings. All of them are on my channel, so just take the messages as they resonate with you whenever you come across this. But when I'm recording this, it's 2026. That adds up to 10. 10 in the tarot, in the major arcana, is the Wheel of Fortune card. So again, it's something where it's like right now you're working on something. Right now you have the ability to like make a decision that it feels like over the course of the next 11 months, like through the duration of the rest of 2026, you're going to make a lot of progress. This isn't just sort of like you're laying a foundation and starting to take steps in a direction. Like even if you feel that you're at square one, progress is going to be really rapid, because in some way this decision, like in a mundane sense, you might even be kind of like, you're chasing abundance, you're chasing money, you're chasing something in terms of like an improvement in your career, something that feels very material. But there are links within the spiritual realm to that. It's something that aligns with like greater aspects of almost like fate or destiny. This may be something that as you embark upon this path, then you're able to encounter like fated people, destined occurrences, movement in other areas of your life that helps to actively kind of like align the stars in your favor. So it feels like there's a lot of universal support, a lot of resources that will come to you when you need them, or something where you set those plans in motion, and it's not going to be so hard to kind of succeed. It's not going to be so hard to break through that glass ceiling. Almost like the universe is conspiring in your favor in the here and now. Like the time is right. This is the season for it. This is the opportunity. Even if it's something where you have to make certain sacrifices, you have to step away from certain things, you have to leave certain things behind, maybe even in terms of like time or resources in order to have more to invest in the furtherance of this. This can be that confirmation that like, yeah, this is a good investment. This is a good investment of your time. This is a good investment of your resources. This is a good investment of your belief in your power to manifest your goals and dreams. All of that is going to be something that you're going to see in real time, that like that comes in very quickly. This is a pathway, this is a doorway that leads to a lot of success for you personally, and again, like at a soul level. We also have Stranger, Curiosity. So this is something where people are going to take notice of this. You're going to get a lot of people that are kind of like observing you. People that are either going to really want what it is you're building, you're developing, you're becoming skilled or proficient at. There's something that like people in your life right now, or people that are kind of like 6 degrees of separation, might sort of hear about what you're doing. It sparks a lot of curiosity, or it's something where when you get those essential skills, you kind of send that thing out there, or you put that out there. You start that business, you open that shop, or you hang your shingle in some cases. That this is something where you're gonna draw in the clientele and the customers that you're going to need. This is something where it's almost like magnetizing in the people that align with that. There may be people as well that kind of like watch you through your process, and it inspires them as well to kind of like take risks in new direction or follow through on certain dreams. Or it's a sense of almost kind of like the change, like positive change that happens within you, even if you're not really sharing your plans or how you're going about this. There's something where there's like that your aura or your attitude, or maybe even your lifestyle in general, changes, and you might think, well, I feel very burdened, I feel very overworked, I feel very stressed, I feel very busy. But there's a sense of like something within your energy. People can tell that like you're investing in the right things. You're tired for the right reasons. Maybe you're having to like cancel other plans and commitments, but it's for a good thing. So there's a lot of people that are almost going to be like currently, or as you continue to sort of move forward in the direction of this, a lot of people sending you well wishes. sending you positive vibes, giving you encouragement, not just silently, but, approaching you to offer their support. You may get people that sort of refer others to you. Hey, here's someone that might be able to help with this. Here's someone, you might be able to pick their brain and get some advice. Here's somebody that could be a good connection to kind of take things to the next level. This is that sense of like the universe really responding to you making that active choice to push forward in that direction of those bigger goals and dreams, rather than just kind of like settling in the life that you're living currently. It's something where, you're not going to have to really necessarily go out and kind of scramble in order to find those clients and customers, or, those people that are able to like open doors of opportunity for you, or, help you with this process or lift you up in some sort of way. That it's kind of like, this is something where it's backed by universal favor. Again, because it's something that either is very important, if it's like one of those $1,000,000 or $1,000,000,000 ideas, it helps a lot of people. And so the universe, wants to kind of facilitate that abundance. And, for the majority of you, no matter where this kind of falls in the spectrum of, prosperity and money and wealth and things like that, it aligns with something in your soul, some kind of joy, some kind of a sense of accomplishment, something that might even be kind of like the furtherance or the modernization of a certain skill set that you worked on in previous incarnations. And you've answered this kind of quiet call inside of yourself to redirect your life, to redirect your focus, to kind of pick up where you left off, and to bring that forth into this modern age. And so that is something, again, that like the universe is really in favor of. And so there are people that are going to be ushered in your direction. It's almost like opportunities sort of falling in your lap because you've made that choice, or are encouraged to, make that choice at this particular point in time to invest yourself in that direction, where you're being called, where you're being compelled. We also have deep quiet. Yeah, so this is something where there's a lot of work behind the scenes that has already gone into this, but on this card, we've got this little kind of like figure, sort of etheric figure, like reaching out their hand. There's a sense of the universe is going to give you these almost like handouts in the forms of signs and synchronicities, or opportunities that kind of like keep you motivated, keep you moving forward, especially during that essential period of time where you're building or you're just starting out. And it may be like, okay, I'm new on the scene, or, I've just sort of developed this thing, or I've carved out a niche for myself. And there's a sense that you don't just need to kind of sit there in this energy of like a void space and sort of wonder, okay, what now? That it's like very quickly, as soon as you cross certain thresholds where it's like you're that professional person, it's a real thing. You've brought it out of that kind of dreamscape into the material. There's a sense of almost like helpful energy sort of reaching towards you, in the form of, those subtle kind of confirmations of like, yeah, keep believing, keep investing, keep pouring yourself in, keep doing what you're doing. But also things beyond that, beyond just kind of the kudos from the universe, or that thumbs up that's like, yeah, you're aligned with the right thing. These are things where it's almost like you can take that to the bank. It speaks of money. It speaks of, people that are curious, people that are wanting to invest, people that are wanting to purchase, people that are wanting to align with that. There may also be the energy of collaboration that comes in that is very divinely guided. All of that is going to have the stamp of the universe on it, that'll kind of like let you know. I mean, like not everyone that comes, knocking at your door or, sending you that business email, you're not going to be able to recognize like, hey, okay, this was divinely guided, but it feels like there's going to be crucial players, key moments, key experiences where, it couldn't be more clear than if the universe kind of like got on a microphone and sort of screamed it in your face as like, okay, this is landing in your lap. This is coming towards you, as something that is just so chocked full of signs and synchronicities that it is the subtle realm's way of letting you know here in the material that like, yes, you have aligned with some kind of purpose-filled life. Yes, you are actively moving towards embodying your highest good in the here and now. Yes, this is an abundant pathway that you have chosen for yourself. Yes, this is an abundant timeline that you have aligned with and that you are creating into something more vivid in terms of like your lived experience. So, look for those kind of things. expect those kind of things to come in, and don't like second guess or question, sort of like, okay, is this just wishful thinking, or, reading too much in is like, okay, there's a lot of signs and synchronicities, is this supposed to mean that I'm supposed to move off in another direction? Because it feels like for a lot of this, it's that confirmation of like, the universe is saying, we have your back, you're aligned with what you need to be aligned with, keep moving forward. We also have Eye of the Needle, intentionality. So there's a sense of there's like a unique niche that you are carving out for yourself, a good, a service, a modality, a specialty, something that you're getting ready to create for yourself, specialize in, align with, put out professionally. That's like, only you can do this. This is table that's being prepared especially for you and by you, like co-creating with the universe, that like the only competition is your own motivation. And it's a sense of almost kind of stepping back from that idea of like a competitiveness and embodying more of that energy of intentionality, that determination to keep moving forward. Certain days, you're going to make fast progress. There's going to be like a lot of good things that come in. Other days, it may be kind of slow. It may be kind of still. It may be periods of rest. Days where you're very busy or you're very motivated. Days where you need to kind of sit and contemplate. All of this is something where you're being pulled into kind of like a higher timeline, but you are also very precisely aligned with a very specific trajectory that like nothing can knock you off that square. There's nobody that can like take this spot from you. Something that you bring to the table, something that you are creating, something that you are producing, or something that you are becoming. Like you're becoming the embodiment of the person that can kind of like wear that hat, claim that title, sort of operate in that role. And the ways in which your life will have to change, or your personality, or the way you present yourself, or the way you kind of like manage your time on a daily basis, like all of those fine tuning of the details of what makes you you, in order to align with kind of this thing that you're birthing into the here and now. This is something that it's very precise, it's very individual, it's very specific. It's all about you. You're the magic that comes into this equation. And that's not something that, another person can kind of like take from you. This is something where only you are able to truly kind of discourage or thwart yourself. And so again, it feels like that energy of intentionality with like the signs and synchronicities from the universe, giving you that kind of clue or indicator you're aligned with the right thing, you're not alone in this process, and to keep moving forward in the direction that you're called, or in the direction that feels very good, very exciting, very, very right for you. We also have winter's dream, gestation period. Yeah, so there's a sense of almost like, not kind of like build in silence and let the results scream, but there may be something where it's almost like you're working towards a vision that others might not be able to fully comprehend, but they will be able to see the big picture when you present that, when you pop out, when it's out, it's time, it's presented, it's ready, it's available for the public. Or if this is something where you're encouraged to kind of like go back to school or gain some skills or a bit of education, it's kind of like when you get that degree, no one can take that away from you. When you have those, credentials, no one can kind of say, well, are you sure? Are you sure you're the expert at that? Are you sure that this is really what you are, or who you say you are? And so there's a sense of like, don't try to sort of like over explain or over prove yourself during this building period. Whatever you're doing behind the scenes, whatever you have been doing behind the scenes, this is going to work out well. It may be something where you could have a very small circle of support in the material world, or you just don't really want to share what you're doing for various reasons. And there's a sense of there will come a day where like beyond this sort of, winter energy, it's almost like the next season then would be springtime. The flowers blossom, kind of the world wakes up. The world will wake up to whatever it is that you are preparing yourself for. So again, this kind of also speaks to like fast movement forward, fast progress, fast results, something where you're not just going to have to sit and kind of wonder, was this worth that investment? Did I do the right thing? That period of quiet will definitely be accompanied by this kind of corresponding experience of like, yeah, you did the right thing. You hit the nail on the head. You created that $1 million idea, that $1 billion idea, or, that change professionally or, you know, creating something more for yourself. This could even involve like passive income or several streams of passive income, something that just kind of like shifts the way you're like relating to material, the way you're relating to money, the way you're relating to wealth. It takes a load off. It changes your life in different sorts of ways. And that's something that has like permanent results in a very positive way. We also have hollow bone, teachability. So for some of you, this is almost like you're the guinea pig. You're the person that is kind of like going through this process, and you're going to mentor others. Others are going to come to you for advice. Others may watch you through this process and are either inspired to kind of walk a similar path, or something about this kind of choice or the changes within you, or whatever kind of the yield is of all of this, it encourages other people who, you know, may kind of applaud and clap for you, or whatever you're doing. It may not be something that is like they need it or they want it. It could be very like specialized, like a very particular niche. But the fact that you've like chased after a dream rather than just settling for the life that you were living, it's something that it feels like inspires other people to kind of introspect, to ask themselves those tough questions. Am I just sort of spinning my wheels, or am I actively kind of like taking the reins in my own life and steering it in a better direction if I am unhappy? So again, this kind of ties into the idea of some kind of purpose in this lifetime. The idea of dharma is coming through here, you know, something that is part of the reason like you chose this incarnation in certain sets of conditions. You know, we have free will because we're living in the material plane. Like there are certain things that are guaranteed, but then there's also a bit of wiggle room. And this is that kind of energy. This is that encouragement to wiggle in that direction of whatever this call is, because you're exercising your free will, but it's also changing something in terms of the trajectory of like future incarnations, or it's something that very positively affects the world around you or a particular community. You know, even something where it changes your material status, your financial status, and you're able to kind of like help others, give back to others, you know, experience the joy of like certain comforts within your own life that even changes the vibe that you're putting out, the energy signature that you are putting out, your energetic footprint as you're just kind of living your life. All of that has like a positive ripple effect based on this choice. We also have skywriting, the fates. Yeah, so again, this is almost kind of like a fated intersection of your life. You are meant to align with something greater. It's like written in the stars, but you have had to make certain free will choices in order to kind of come to this particular place where it's almost like there's an inevitability with something. It's going to require some hard work, but it's all in kind of the attitude of belief, because you're co-creating with the divine as far as this is concerned. You're co-creating with the universe. You're remaining teachable in terms of like adjustments that you need to make in order to see this dream through to a place of completion or fruition. But at the same point in time, there's a lot of artistic license as far as this is concerned. You're taking the pen and you're kind of like rewriting your story. You're rewriting your narrative. You're shifting your narrative arc very intentionally. And so this is something that it feels like you had the opportunity maybe in other lifetimes to do something like this, and you know, your free will decision sent you in another direction. Here you are again at that same crossroads, you know, moment that has kind of materialized in a different form or fashion, but it's the same theme. And it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to choose? You know, and so again, this kind of encouragement to like for yourself, you know, for others it will benefit in the here and now, and for yourself in kind of the grander scheme of existence and reality in general. Like for you as a soul, this really does benefit you to continue to align with this, to continue to walk in this direction where you're already like strongly guided. You've already been nudged. You've already been compelled in that direction. And this is that confirmation to just, you know, see that through, because it's something that it's going to be big. It's going to be rewarding. You're going to be very proud of yourself. Others are going to be very proud of you. This is going to change the way that people, you know, maybe look at you, or even kind of look at themselves and things that are possible for them, options they hadn't considered, or just kind of like the attitude or the framework that was necessary for you to bring this out of a place of just like a quiet dream into a loud reality. It feels like it's going to be something that helps others to kind of look towards a higher perspective, to see things bigger than just like as they are. And so for some of you, this is like very important important work that you're meant to do. And for others of you, though, it's very important for like your journey as a soul in this particular lifetime. It changes a lot for you in the here and now, and also in the lifetimes to come. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Please like the video or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more videos that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.